Okay, so each player has 6 dice, and everyone rolls the dice at the same time. So this player will roll their dice, and this player will roll their dice. I'll just group them up. Now, just for the sake of the example, I'm just going to change these slightly. Actually, I'm not even going to change this like that. That should be fine. Okay, so first things first, the players have to force each other to roll the exact same amount of dice, re-roll the same amount of dice as they have in 6s. So in this case, only this player has to make this player re-roll 1 dice. Okay, so for the sake of this, we're going to say it makes him re-roll this 1. That gets him a 3. If there's more than 2 players, then you always have to make the player on your left re-roll. And then it just goes around in a circle. Okay, so the next stage of the game, now everyone's made each other re-roll. Obviously, this guy can't make this guy re-roll because they don't have any 6s in the first place. The next stage of the game is you can bank as many dice as you have 1s, so that then they can not be touched. So this player, because he has 1-1, he can bank 1-5. There you go. That means that bank dice can now not be moved. It stays there for the rest of the game, and it counts towards the points in order to win at the end of the game. And that's the end of that round. So at the end of the round, just continue the example. So messy with my dice. Okay, so in this case, only this player can force this player to re-roll. Again, it's a 2. But for example, I'm going to say we roll 2 6s. So in this case, because this player has 2 6s, this player has to make this player roll 2 dice. Now, it makes sense to make this player re-roll the 1, because if this player doesn't have any 1s, then they can't bank any of the dice. So they make them roll the 1 and the highest dice as well. They've got 2 5s, so they re-roll one of them. Unfortunately for this player, they've actually given them another 1 anyway. So we go on to the banking phase again. This player has 1, so can only bank 1. They're obviously going to bank their 6. This player has 1, so they're going to bank their 5. That'll be the points at the end of the round. And now you do this 4 more times, 6 times in total. But, you know, that can be easily changed. Okay, so again, in this case, no one has any 6s, so no one gets any re-rolls. So you go straight to the banking phase. Each player has 1, 1, 1, 1. So this player chooses to bank the 4. And this player also chooses to bank a 4. That's turn 3 over. And you go on to turn 4. You do the whole game, might as well. It's not like it takes a long time. Okay, in this case, only this player can do a re-roll. It's only got 1 dice, so it has to make him re-roll 1 of these dice. And he chooses the 4 because it's the highest number. Ends up with a 6. Now, it's worth mentioning, just because this player has now got a 6 does not mean that they're going to be able to force this one to re-roll, because everyone does the re-rolls at the same time. It's not exactly a turn-based game. So it's a case of you do the re-rolls, and then on whatever's left after the re-rolls, you decide on the banking. But if you roll a 6 once you've been forced to re-roll, you cannot use that 6 to force the other player to re-roll. So nothing happens here, there's no banking. What we're on, that was 4, so 5th turn. Okay, so this is a pretty good example that we've got here. So no 6s, so no one forces anyone to re-roll. This player has 2 1s. So this player could bank any 2 of these dice, but it's only a 3 at the maximum, so it'd be a bit daft to waste the banking opportunity on a 3. Although, I don't know, we're on turn 5, and the deck looks like this, so maybe it does make sense to wash that 3 in there. Let's see what happens. So, last turn, roly roly. Roly roly. We have no 6s again, but for this sake of argument, I'm going to put a 6 there, and I'm going to put, say, this guy rolled 2 6s, just for example. So everyone has to force their opponent to roll the same amount. So this player has to re-roll 2, chosen by this player because this player's got 2 6s. So they would choose 2 top dice, these 2. Now this player already had 1 6 earlier, so they have to make these re-roll 1, so they would re-roll this one. No one's got any 1s, so nothing gets banked. So this is the scoreboard at the end of the turn, and as you can see, we got a 5, 4, and a 3, and a 4, 6, and a 5. Without even doing maths, we can tell that these guys win. And that's basically it. It's pretty straightforward.